Morning MP Nation, welcome to the second edition of the Lunge University Q&A. So let me explain what we're doing again if it's your first time seeing the video. I'm a maniac about lunges because it helped me get in crazy shape last time for my cover shoot, but it also helped me get and stay pretty damn strong when I was doing powerlifting. So I'm not a huge cardio fan, so I like to just straight walking lunge around the track. So I figured, why not show you that I actually do it and I'm not bullshitting, and second, answer some questions. So today my first question is about training with bands. So a lot of people don't know the difference of training with bands versus training with regular weight. So they always ask me, why are you training with band pressure on the bar, whether it's your squat or your deadlift, instead of just training with regular weight? When you train with band pressure against the bar, you have to continuously explode through the weight because the tension gets harder and increases as the bar goes up. So if you're pulling a deadlift through 200 pounds of band pressure, as you go off the ground and pull through the bands, it's going to jump on top of you to where you got to explode even more through the bands. It tricks your body to become more explosive, which is pretty awesome. So if you train with bands for a few weeks and then you take a regular weight that maybe before you didn't have a super explosive rep with, you'll just cruise right through it. I obviously learned that from Westside Barbell. The bands you can buy at westside-barbell.com or Rogue Fitness. They're like maybe 30 bucks, but they can like change your training, trick your nervous system into being stronger, and it's a pretty awesome change. It's a little bit difficult to do at a chain gym, but what I've realized that if you watch some of my videos, we have a monolift, which makes it really easy to hook the bands up. But you could take a 100-pound dumbbell or maybe a 120-pound dumbbell for your squats and put it on each side of the bar and take the mini bands up under and over top the bar. And I have some videos that are on my YouTube channel that shows me doing that. So that's why we train with bands. A lot of people are always asking because normal gyms don't usually have, bands available. You're gonna have to buy them and take them yourself. So that's why we train with bands. Next question is my lower back. So a lot of people on Instagram are always asking how I get my lower back to look the way it does when I'm getting ready for my cover shoots. Is partly conditioning like this, combination with also the diet, obviously, because you have to lower your body fat. But the big key is pretty much my entire adult life, as I did back training, I always take a really big squeeze on every back rep. And so that's I need a little break for a second. Yeah. Just kidding. So anyway, so whenever you're doing your back training, you have to think that you're squeezing your lats, squeezing your upper back. And this old timer in the gym a long time ago, at the gym I trained at back home, told me, feel like you're trying to hold a pencil between your shoulder blades when you squeeze every back rep. And that means lat pull downs, seated rows, one arm rows, anything. And so if you have that mind muscle connection with your back, you can get some like nasty shit going on, but you have to squeeze it. You can't just mindlessly be in the gym just repping weights, which, hey, don't get it wrong, I do a lot of that too. But when you're really trying to etch that thing out, you've got to make sure that you're squeezing. Are you guys watching? Knee to the ground every rep? See that? That's how you got to do them. No shorten them like this. You got to go all the way down. So that's how a combination for the lower back is conditioning, which means your body fat's low enough to see your so-called Christmas tree. 2 is mindfully squeeze your lower back, squeeze your back. Obviously train your lower back too. We train them from deadlift to lower back extensions to all kinds of different stuff. But it takes all 3. You can't have a crazy Christmas tree in your lower back if you don't have all 3 rolling. So a lot of people say, I'm training my back, but I can't see any serrations or cuts at the low back level. It's all because of the conditioning. So keep that in mind. Next question is, I see you benching with your feet up, what's the difference? So a long time ago, I just wrote an article like this for Fitness RX magazine. My stepdad, who still benches 300 this way, and he's in his late 50s, benches with his feet in the air. A lot of old timers bench that way, and basically it takes your anchors out of the lift. Now I just did a 6-week power trainer on GNC that's coming out on GNC.com in August, and all the benchings with your feet up except for the last week, which is your test week. Now, what's awesome about it, it teaches you how to grind through weight, because if you watch in the gym, and I've done it, you want to have a good arch, which is normal, but when you're working through that last little bit of weight, it's easy to do one of those numbers. Now, when you take your feet out of the equation, one, your core has to stabilize more. Two, it teaches your body when weight gets stuck, you can't drive through your feet. So you have to grind with your upper back, shoulders, triceps. The triceps are a big part of having a big bench. So I've been doing all my feet up for probably about 4 months now. I noticed my chest development definitely came up. I also noticed that in my powerlifting contest, I was able to get about 35 more pounds on my bench from that. And your triceps just get way stronger because you're grinding out weights all the time. So when you go with your feet up, it makes a huge difference on the lift. So now the funny thing is, it's going to take your weight way down probably. My best ever feet up bench in 2004 was 330 pounds. Now I'm not back to that yet. I'm about 290 to 300, so it's not crazy, but it transferred over very well in my powerlifting contest because I compete and equipped. And so my shoulders, my triceps are so much stronger to be able to support that heavy weight. Now, don't like overestimate how much weight you can do that way. Make sure that you warm up well, and that whenever you take that bench press, is that you take your time and you roll back and forth with it. And also, it's a little bit of a wider grip, and I used to teach tucking all the time, but this you want to keep a little bit wider, nice and smooth, and you're just working through like that. So try the feet up bench, even if you do it for a couple weeks, and then roll back to your regular bench press, and you'll thank me for it. Next, let's see, we got my favorite ab exercises. So every time I post a cover, which I got a few of them coming out right now, people always ask me how I get my abs as thick as they become whenever it's time to shoot. It's all from weighted ab exercises. I don't do a bazillion crunches. For me, it's a waste of time. Everything I do is weighted. The ab wheel is a weighted exercise. It's your whole body weight, you know, counterbalancing while you're going out. You got weighted crunches. I mean, I have a 25-pound plate that sits in my bedroom that I hit, you know, 50 to 250 abs almost every night, 2 months out of my shoot. And you don't put the plate up like this when you're doing the abs. You put it behind your head, just like you would hold your hands. Just lay the plate there in regular crunches. What that does, that thickens the muscle. So whenever you get lean, it's like, I always just say, I want to look like it's etched in granite. It's just nasty, right? So that, and then toes the bar. Now, not the toes the bar that CrossFitters do where you're kipping. I like to do more like the bodybuilding style, where most people would stop at 90 degrees, but then I take them up over my head. And so I would do a superset of 25 ab wheels, 25 to 50 weighted crunches, and usually 15 toes the bar. Now, when I'm close to my cover stuff, I'll also go with ankle weights on the toes the bar. The key is when you get that lean, when you're getting ready for your photo shoots, you got to make sure that your abs are just sticking out to where you can put almost like your finger in the groove of them. And that's the way that you get them etched out, is by the weighted crunches like that. The toes the bar and the ab wheels. That's the key. So a lot of people ask me that constantly, and that's really the basics of it. And the key is, I do it probably 6 days a week. I look at it like this. I got one shot to have my A+ game. I can't go B, I can't go B+, I can't even go A-. I'm the damn Muscle Farm Prez now, I gotta go A+. So I make sure that those things are gonna look nasty when it's time. One time, a long time ago, I went to a photo shoot, early 2000s, and I was rushed. They called me, I wasn't ready, and I went anyway. I tried my best to get in shape. I was just coming off a powerlifting phase, and when I took off my shirt, the worst dream, nightmare you could ever have, I was soft, especially from traveling, just holding water, and literally just had no cuts. That day was so grueling, and just pissed me off to no end, to where I decided that I will go super shredded, overly shredded from now on. That never again, and no one even knew who the hell I was at that point, but that didn't matter. They definitely didn't know because I didn't show up in good shape. But from that point on, when I take my shirt off the day it's time to shoot, they know I'm there and I'm ready to rock. So my advice to you guys that are trying to get into that, everybody's always talking about hold on to size. Well, check it out, I weigh 170 when I do that shit. Shredded to the bone, and every time it's worked out for me. Every time. So that's the key. You've got to go in shape. You can't be messing around. So that's one thing, is get lean, make the abs thick so they stand out like granite. Next we got my favorite cardio exercise. So my favorite cardio currently is what you're watching me do, which is walking lunges. If I had to pick 2 or 3 exercises over top that, it would be sprints on the football field here at Denison, which I love to do. And I usually hit like 10 50s, 10 100s, and usually finish it with a suicide, touching every line, which is real hard. Go 5, back to goal, 10, back to goal, 15, back to goal, all the way to 100. That's usually how I finish. That's a dog right there. After that, I would say I like to do weighted vest walks, which is something kind of different. I'll put 80 pounds on, just walk around the track for a mile, just to kind of change it up, get my hips some work. And I guess if I had to pick a third one, it would be stairs. So there's a staircase over in the corner that's probably, I don't know, a couple hundred stairs long up the hill, and I'll do 15 sets of that, usually with some push-ups in between. And so if you notice, I'm definitely not a treadmill type of character. I really don't like to run. I like playing sports, playing basketball, things like that. But if I had to pick cardio, I got the best condition of my life doing what you're seeing right now. And like I said, you got to have this in check, your diet in check, your weight training in check also, and your supplements, or you can't get that type of result. But literally, when I saw Dr. Serrano at my show, he said, I really think you achieved roughly a 4 to 5% body fat, drug-free, in a pretty short period of time. And I've never taken drugs. I'm lifetime natural. Obviously, I only weigh like 170 when I compete or do cover model stuff, so I'm not outsizing anybody, but the conditioning is the key. I want to go striated, tight, have fun up there. But when people heard that I was doing 800 to 1600 meters a day of lunging, and then at one point I worked up to a 40-pound vest for a mile, 80-pound vest for 800 meters, my legs come in straight nasty. So I was still squatting, still leg extension, leg curl, everything, but added these, and it became a whole nother level of conditioning for myself. Also, on top of that, when I merged back into powerlifting, my first squat at 188 was 625 in a suit, and it all came down to the conditioning that I got from these lunges. Now I've continued them almost for an entire year. My powerlifting continued to get better. I do shorter versions of them now, but I'm still doing powerlifting. When I go back to the cover shoots, I'll up the ante and go more intensity or longer duration, which is coming here again soon. All right, so our next question is, why do you do so many high reps in your workouts? So a lot of people think that because I'm always doing reps at 20, 15, 30, even 50 today on the shoulder torture workout we did, that you think you get small. If you haven't done high rep killers like that, then you ain't trained hard enough, because I'm gonna tell you straight up, it puts the most blood in the muscle. If you're doing reps at 3s and 5s all the time, which I do those too, but you gotta have workouts to change it up. So, especially arm workouts, people say, I don't even know how this would even help your arms with all these reps. You do one of my arm workouts, you'll get the biggest pump of your life. Do you still need to do heavy stuff? Yeah, of course you do, but you gotta keep it different. You gotta keep it changed up. And I'm telling you, if you just follow the daily workouts that I post on Instagram, Twitter, that Muscle Farm posts on Instagram, I post on my Twitter, we post on our Facebook, you'll get some of the sickest pumps of your life. Don't get it twisted, you're gonna have people looking at you funny in the gym, but that's what I want. Our people stick out like a sore thumb, they're in shape, they're in condition, and they're gonna get some of the best gains of their life. Whether it's the Get Swole plan, Arnold's Blueprint, the Busy Diet, all this stuff I got coming, or you're just doing the daily stuff, man, your body's gonna change so fast because it never, and I mean never, knows what's coming at it. And that's the key. One of my daily missions is to bring y'all something new, something fresh, something difficult to keep your mind at ease at the gym. So you ain't gotta think about it. You just go in, you can train and get the results that you're really after. And so every day when I get up, I think, what's the crazy amount of stuff that I can do to impact you guys? And I feel like I'm doing it on a regular basis. All you gotta do is follow some of it and take that stuff you're reading online out. Just go with it, check it out, and I'm telling you, you're gonna get some sick results. So that's it for the second edition of Q&A, Lunge University. I am out.